from the pen where the grind don't bust. Red, white, blue on the jersey I trust. Whole squad built out the dust. Pistons in my blood and my lungs, that's us. Draft night dreams on a cracked black top. Kid yelling game 7 at the bus stop. Hands numb, winner in my jump shot. Saw the logo, knew my heart had one spot. Blue seats, loud fans that heartland roar. Every loose ball like a neighborhood war. We dive, we scrape, we claw for the floor. Detroit on the chest, that's what hustle is for. This, the Motor City Rumble. We don't break, we don't crumble. Listen to my face when I stumble. I get up, stay humble. From the bank to the arc, we fight. Every board, every cut, all night. If you want that win, hold tight. Detroit basketball, that's life.
Welcome to Courtside here at the Double Dribble Podcast. I'm your host, D.S. Walt, and I want to wish everybody a happy Martin Luther King Day. Today is one of those special days because we get to celebrate the birthday of a great man who believes in positivity, who believes in everyone coming together, and who believes in the people, who believes in this country. So on this day on Martin Luther King, I want to read something that Martin Luther King, one of his quotes that actually resonate with me, and I hope everybody enjoyed this quote because it's everyday life. So this quote goes, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." And the reason why that would resonate with me, because in life, we always have to keep moving forward. We can't look back. We have to keep going forward. If we want to get to where we want to get to in life in general, we have to keep moving forward. Don't look back. Don't look back on your past. Don't look back on your past mistakes. Just keep moving forward. Keep knocking these doors down. Keep going, and you will get there. We will all get there. So with that said, thank you for tuning in to the Double Dribble Podcast. Again, I'm your host, D.S. Walt, and I hope you guys like, subscribe, and share my show because it helps a brother out and it helps me out on the algorithm. And not only that, I want to continue bring you guys the Double Dribble Podcast. So please make sure you like, subscribe, and share my podcast. I really, really appreciate it. I'm not like any other podcaster here. I'm not going to say, hey, if you don't like, subscribe, I ain't going to mess with you. So there are a lot of things going on in the world of basketball. Actually, today is one of those days where there's a lot going on in sports. We got NFL coaches being fired. Sean McDermott, the Buffalo Bills, got fired today. We had the national championship in college football playoffs. We got the Miami Hurricane versus the Indiana Hoosiers for the national championship. It's kind of ironic. This has been played in Miami at the home stadium of the Miami Hurricanes and the visiting team. Weird that they got to leave the comfort of their locker room and go to the visitor locker room. My, oh my. They got to work that out. And we got a host of basketball games going on. Later on tonight, we're going to have the Boston Celtics versus Detroit Pistons, which I will talk about the Pistons. This is what this podcast is about. We're going to talk about the Pistons. And we have the Clippers and Wizards, and we had the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks, and we had the Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs, Indiana Pacers, and the Philadelphia 76ers, the Phoenix Suns versus the Brooklyn Nets, and the Miami Heat versus the Golden State Warriors. That'll be the 9 o'clock game. The Jazz and Spurs at 4 o'clock game. Suns and Nets at 6:30. Pacers and Sixers at 6 o'clock. Clippers and Wizards at 2 p.m. down in the great, beautiful District of Columbia and down in D.C. And right now, we have a couple games going on right now. And those games we have the Milwaukee Bucks and Atlanta Hawks. The Bucks are up 78-67. That's in the minute and 30 left in the third quarter. That's a low-scoring game. I guess somebody or couple teams there forgot to play some offense. I can't say this defensive battle because I'm quite sure there's some bricks been thrown up in this game. And we also have the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's early in the first quarter with 9:42 left. We have the Thunder leading the Cavaliers 8-6. Both games are on Peacock or NBC. And it's a good slate, good basketball games today. But you already know your boy's looking forward to the Celtics and the Pistons game because I gotta talk about my Pistons, man, because they are sitting right now 30-10, and we kind of at the halfway mark of the season, and they're in first place in the Eastern Conference, and they have a 4.5 game lead over the Boston Celtics for the best record in the Eastern Conference, and within the division, they have a 7.5 game lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Detroit Pistons, so far right now, to me, is the most surprising team in the NBA. If you want to say the San Antonio Spurs are, if you want to say that, not really shocked about the Orlando Magic with the acquisition of Desmond Bane, but the San Antonio Spurs, they're playing some good basketball. The Portland Trail Blazers are 500, so they're playing some good, decent basketball. And the Phoenix Suns are playing at 25-17, who we thought would take a step back with the trade of Kevin Durant, is actually playing some nice, good basketball. And the Golden State Warriors 24-19, we kind of expect them to be where they are. The Los Angeles Lakers, who has a half-game lead over the Phoenix Suns at 25-16, the Lakers are who we thought they are. They're not a powerhouse team. They are a good team, but not a great team. I mean, that team constructed as now, I am shocked that they are 25-16. I don't see them as a threat to win the championship. I see them more as a play-in team, but it goes to show you that the Pacific Division, as of right now, is kind of down this season. That's not taken away from the Lakers. I mean, 25-16, that's still a good record. You know, you first place in your division, so that's good. And what I said on the previous show, I stand by what I said, that the Los Angeles Lakers are not a good team. As far as I don't think they can beat some of the best teams in the West. When I mean some of the best teams, I mean the Thunder, the Houston Rockets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and when healthy, Denver Nuggets. I don't see them on that level of those teams. I still believe that the Lakers are a fraud team because the way the roster is constructed with Luka, I don't think they did a good job of building a team around him. And I also said that LeBron James, as great as he is, I don't think that he really affects them wins or losses. I just truly believe, I say that because I truly believe that the Lakers don't want LeBron James on that team. Anytime where you, as a great player, as a top dog in the league, and you playing for one of the most historic franchises in the league, and you not part of the game plan, they don't consult you on players who they want to trade for. That's telling me that they don't want you there. You're not a priority. You're not in their plans. And quite honestly, they didn't want him to come back this season with the Lakers. They was hoping that he'll opt out and go somewhere else because they fully want to make this Luka Doncic team and make this and build this roster de facto around him. Now on those lines, you heard his agent Rich Paul had come out and said something about Austin Reeves. And I do agree with LeBron James. That's his own opinion. That's not LeBron James' opinion. So I hope everybody don't get that misscrewed or anything. Don't take this as, hey, Diaz, man, why are you sticking up for LeBron? I'm not sticking with LeBron. LeBron don't need nobody stick up for him. You know, that he is his own man. But I'm just keeping it real. You know, LeBron James can defend himself, but we got to be able to separate the fact that his agent has an opinion and LeBron has an opinion. That's all, you know. That's all. I mean, that's all I kind of really wanted to say about that. Well deserved applause for that. So, and also, before I touch on the Pistons and everything, there's a lot of rumors, and the Pistons are going to be part of this topic as well. A lot of rumors about trades and certain players going to be moved. We hear John Morant might end up being traded. We see Trae Young trade to the Washington Wizards. We hear that the Memphis Grizzlies. I just read before I came on the show that they're doing a step-by-step teardown, and Jaren Jackson just kind of want to know, what's the plan. And there are rumors that he's on the trading block. We hear about Giannis, who don't want to pull a trigger or leaving Milwaukee because he is loyal to the Bucks. And instead of being moved, he wants them to improve the squad. Now, I'm gonna take this piece by piece. With the John Morant situation, he needs to change his scenery. I know he's a loyal guy. He said that in his interview with the press and after the game in London. He is a loyal guy. The guy has a tattoo of the Memphis Grizzlies on his back. He stated that. But I kind of think that what John Morant has to look at is that this is about not being loyal. This is about saving your career. This is about changing scenery, getting a breath of fresh air, refocusing, rededicating yourself to the game of basketball, and going to another team where you not only get that fresh start, but somehow you can find that magic and be the dynamic player that everybody thinks you are not right now. I don't believe that. I believe Ja Morant is still the dynamic player that he is. His play this season probably does not back it up. That might have something to do with, the trade rumors and does he really want to leave Memphis or not? It's a lot of things going on, and it's a lot of things that's probably affecting his game. I mean, the man been hurt for the last 2-3 years, and he's being cautious this season because he heard the murmurs out there like, yo, he can't stay healthy. Yo, he's not the same player. So, he might be playing a little tentative, but at the end of the day, Ja Morant is Ja Morant. That's not going to change. And if he goes to another team, whether it's Miami, whether it's Minnesota, Sacramento, I think that you will see Ja basketball game, and Ja as a man would be rejuvenated, and we will see Ja Morant. Well, you will see Ja Morant that y'all once seen before. Sometimes you need that change of scenery. And Ja Morant is one of those few players right now who needs that change of scenery. Do good for his soul. It'll do good for his game. It'll be one of those things where Ja Morant will be one of the top 10 players in the NBA like he was 2-3 years ago. So hopefully, this trade, if he gets traded, I hope he does get traded. And for his sake, I just pray that Ja will continue to evolve into the man that he's supposed to be, but also I hope his basketball game evolve to the point that, hey, Ja will be a better jump shooter. Ja will make good decisions on the court. Ja will make good decisions with the basketball. And more importantly, Ja will make good decisions off the court. We'll see. And hopefully, those things will happen for him. Now, as far as Jaren Jackson Jr., I don't think he wants to be traded, but at the same time, I don't think a guy of his caliber actually wants to rebuild, wants to go through a rebuild. So it all comes down to is if he asks for a trade request. And I'm quite sure at some point, whether it's the trading deadline or end of the season, there's going to be a lot of teams that's going to land up with Jaren Jackson Jr. Number one, he's a stretch four. He's a hell of a defensive player. He's a guy that could probably get you 20 and 11. Well, let me phrase that 20 and 8, because he's not a big rebounder, but he's a hell of a defensive player, and he's a heck of a good offensive player. And a lot of teams out there will love to have him. I mean, you can say it might be up to 20 teams will try to trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. So watch out for that. Giannis. When Giannis decided to make up his mind if he wants to leave Milwaukee and go back to New York Knicks, hopefully we'll find out soon. Because I don't think Milwaukee can do anything else to make this team a championship team. They can make a few trades, but they also have to look at it. If they trade for, let's say, for Zach LaVine or for a John Morant, are they better than the New York Knicks or the Boston Celtics or the Detroit Pistons? That's what they got to think about. And you also got to think about the future. Because the future of the NBA, as any other time, is getting younger and developing young players and not being in the second or first apron. That's it. Because as Kevin Love said, that Zach apron is killing teams. Because when you out there spending money reckless, you get yourself in trouble. And a lot of teams spent money reckless and got themselves in those aprons. So if you Kevin Love, you can't blame the second apron. You got to blame those GMs or owners who are out there recklessly spending money. The Milwaukee Bucks might have to go out here and spend money reckless. The question is it going to help their team to be a title contender? We don't know, but we will find out. So let's get to the top of the day, the Detroit Pistons. My Pistons, man, I'm so proud of my Pistons sitting at 30. This has been one of the best seasons of Detroit Pistons in history. They're 20 games over 500. The young players are gelling. They're playing great basketball together. And you got the secondary players who I'll call it veteran players: Tobias Harris, Javonte Green, Paul Reed, Duncan Robinson, and Karis LeVert. They're playing their roles well. JB out there cooking. He is getting, as what Kenya Martin would say, he has to use some 4-5 letter words on those YNs to get the message through. Probably do. And by the way, check out that interview with David Fisdale and JB on YouTube. Check it out. It was a good interview. I wish I could have took a clip of it and have it on the show, but I didn't think about that time until now. So check that interview out on YouTube. David Fisdale and JB. Great interview. Give you good insight on himself, on the team, and the goals and everything. So check it out. The Detroit Pistons hitting that 30-10. This young core has something special going on. The Cade Cunningham, the Jalen Duren, the Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, Asir Thompson, Marcus Sasser, Chaz Lanier, Beef Stew. This chemistry that they have is very, very special. Jenkins, very special. And I truly believe right now that this young core can not only get this team to probably 55 or 60 wins, but if we keep this core together for the remainder of the season, we have an opportunity to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not gonna say finals because we don't know what we're not going to know what the match are going to look like, but you still got to have your respect for the New York Knicks, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and for the Boston Celtics. So I think we have opportunity to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And depending on those matchup, we do have an opportunity to get to the finals. Now, Cade Cunningham, who's our best player, who is our closer, who is Mr. Everything to us. is averaging 25.9 points per game, 9.6 rebounds per game. Oh, excuse me, assists per game. He is averaging 6 rebounds a game, 1.5 steals per game. Cade Cunningham, as of right now, on January 19, 2026, is the best American born point guard in the NBA, my opinion. Secondly, Cade Cunningham is a NBA All-Star. That's a fact. Cade Cunningham will be in the top 5 in MVP voting. And I think, honestly, if the Pistons continue to win and continue to get better and elevate, Cade Cunningham will be my pick to be MVP. Now, I'm not being biased on that because Jokic is out. He won't be back for another 3 to 4 weeks. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is having another outstanding year, and he won the last year. But I think that with OKC, with SGA, I kind of think right now the players around him are actually getting a lot better. That's due to him, but also due to their own. The only person that I can see that might can beat out Cade for MVP, and if this player does, I can sit here and tell you, I have no problem with it. And ladies and gentlemen, that player is Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers because he has the Philadelphia 76ers sitting in sixth place right now in the Eastern Conference with a 22-18 record. And Tyrese Maxey, ladies and gentlemen, is averaging 30.3 points per game, 6.7 assists per game, 1.9 steals per game. Tyrese Maxey is out here balling on a team with Joe Embiid, Paul George, who can't stay healthy, who really right about now starting to contribute. Joe Embiid is averaging through 22 games that Joe Embiid played. He's averaging 24 points per game. Paul George, who played 23 games as of right now, is averaging 15.9. Both guys, their numbers. No, Joe Embiid 6.9 rebounds. He's 0.5 blocks per game. That's not Joe Embiid. Joe Embiid will have at least about 2 blocks per game. Joe Embiid will average like 2 steals per game. Joe Embiid would have averaged over 10 rebounds per game. Joe Embiid, when healthy, is a double-double guy. But Tyrese Maxey, who I feel that this Sixers organization needs to build this team around and continue to build this team through the draft with more pieces, Tyrese Maxey is out here balling. He's the reason why the Philadelphia 76ers are sitting at 22-18 right now. He'll be the main reason why the Philadelphia 76ers will make the postseason this year. He'll be the main reason why Philadelphia 76ers' future is bright. It's because of him. And you also got to throw in VJ Edgecombe, the talented young rookie who's averaging 15.7 points per game. Grimes is averaging 14 points per game. Kelly Audrey averaging 13.4 points per game. Tyrese Maxey, who I feel is the face of the franchise in Philadelphia, is going to be the reason why that the Sixers will make the postseason if he continues to play well and his supporting cast around him continue to pick up the slack. But he will also be the main reason why Cade Cunningham won't win MVP if he continues to ball out this second half of the season. I mean, Cade can average a triple-double the second half of the season. If Tyrese Maxey continues to put up these numbers, Tyrese Maxey will be MVP. But my MVP is Cade Cunningham. Because Cade Cunningham has taken his game to another level, especially in the fourth quarter. Well, last year he had trouble closing out games this first half of the season. Cade ain't having no problem closing out the games. Cade out here balling his butt off. Cade out here giving people the business. Listen to the crowd. The crowd out here. They out here like this. You know what I'm saying? Then we seen what the Pistons did to the Indiana Pacers this past weekend, being about 43 points. That was for the Pacers, ladies and gentlemen. So this Pistons team, this Pistons team, we on fire, baby. We on fire. And I hope that continues into today when we play the Boston Celtics. Look, I want everybody to understand, because you hear the rumors from every podcaster out here talking about, hey, we need to make a trade. We need a trade for Michael Porter Jr. We need a trade for Lauri Markkanen. We need a trade for Bobby Portis. We need a trade for Luke Kennard. We need to make some trades. We gotta go all in on the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference is wide open. We don't need to make a trade. We don't need to make a trade because the talent, the young core that we have right now, and this team in general, is gelling to a high level. You don't see teams other than San Antonio, OKC. They're the only two teams out here that I can sit here and say that they are on the same level as the Detroit Pistons right now. On the same level. I'm not trading nobody on this team. Nobody. Now, would I like to add someone? Sure, I would. But who you want to give up? Do you want to give up Tobias Harris, a veteran player on this team who, by the way, is only 33 years old, and he's a veteran player? But that's crazy. But who fits this team? Do you want to give up Javonte Green or Paul Reed? That's 3 our veteran players. Do you want to give up Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert? 5 veteran players who are gelling with this young core group. 5 veteran players who has the ear of this young core. And who are the part of the young core you want to trade? Do you really want to disrupt the chemistry of this team? And do you really want to add a player who is vastly overpaid? Like Lauri Markkanen salary is $49.7 million. I would love to add Lauri Markkanen to this team, but not at that price. And especially if you know Danny Ainge. And Danny Ainge conversation, because he's a smart man, is he going to start with Cade Cunningham, which is going to be a no. Or it's going to start with Asir Thompson, Ron Holland, Jay and Ivy, and some draft picks. Are y'all willing to sacrifice 3 players of our young core for Lauri Markkanen? I'm not. And then we heard the rumors that there were multiple scouts at the Piston game from the Brooklyn Nets who were scouting Detroit Pistons talent. And I'm quite sure they have a deal in mind. They want to trade in Michael Porter Jr. to Detroit. But if you're the Pistons, are you willing to break up the young talent to get a guy of Michael Porter Jr.? Not saying that I won't want Michael Porter Jr. I would love to have Michael Porter Jr. I would love to have Bobby Portis. But at what price? Are you willing to sacrifice the future of our young talent for Michael Porter Jr.? Again, our young core is gelling. Our young core is finally coming together. I'm not willing to give up Jaden Ivey because we don't know. Because for one, Jaden Ivey, I hear people criticizing him, saying he's not the same player. Jaden Ivey, the thing with Jaden Ivey is not simple, but it's mental. It's not the physical part. It's the mental part of his game where you're coming back from a devastating injury and you're working yourself back. You're on minutes restriction. Your game is going to be up and down. At some point, Jaden Ivey's going to take off in the second half into the postseason. Are you willing to give that up for Michael Porter Jr.? Are you willing to give up Marcus Sasser, who's our best shooter on the team in general? Those ain't my words. Those words from Cade Cunningham and the crew. Are you willing to give up Javonte Green? Are you willing to give up your first round picks? I get it. Everybody wants to go in right now. If there's a good opportunity to be the top dog in the Eastern Conference, this is it right now. You got to make a trade. This is it right now. That's everybody's thinking. But you know who's not thinking that? Trajan Langdon, the GM. Why? Because he said it himself. He wants to see the young player, the young core group play together and see how they look. And that's exactly what he's getting. That's exactly what he's getting. So to him, it would have to take something drastic to split up the young core and some of my veteran players that we have on this team for him to make a trade for a Michael Porter Jr. or for a Bobby Portis. Now, the good thing is we do have that $14.9 million trade exception that we got from the Dennis Schroeder sign a trade with the Sacramento King. We do have that. So I do think the Pistons are going to make a minor move to add to this team. But we will have to let go of a player, and I would not be surprised if that player is more. But other than that, I don't see the Pistons coming out here and drastically making a move to get a second option, as everybody said we need on this team for Cade Cunningham. I truly believe that second option is on this team. I truly believe that second option we will find out the second half and into the postseason. Now, is it Jalen Duren? I don't know, but it could be Jalen Duren. It could be Jaden Ivey. It might be Ron Holland. It might be Asher Thompson. It might be still Tobias Harris. We don't know. As far as we know, the Pistons probably waiting on to see when they can get Malik Beasley back. Because right now, he's sitting on the sideline, and he came out and said that he wants to be with the Detroit Pistons. And the Pistons could be waiting on him, waiting on the league to see if they're going to reinstate him and let him play this season. I mean, he can be signed to a team, but you know how the league is. They like to take their time on certain investigations. So most teams are waiting for the investigation to be over, and hopefully Malik Beasley will be able to sign with the Pistons once this investigation is over with. He might be that missing piece that we need. So we don't know. But I'm not all for making trades, just be making trades, but I'm not in the ballpark of giving away our most important assets, some pieces of our young core, just to go get out and get a Michael Porter Jr. or Lauri Markkanen, or as some people say, hey, a Zach LaVine. I'm not into all that. I'm not into that. We gotta look long term, and long term is our young core is what gonna lead us to a championship. We got to stop looking at the short term. We got to look long term, and we got to trust Langdon that he's going to do the right thing. So we just going to have to wait and see. Not, like I said, small move, yes. A big move, I don't see it. And speaking of moves, Jalen Duren, who is averaging 10.8 rebounds per game to go along with averaging 17 points per game, Jalen Duren has taken that next step that we all thought that he could take, that we all was hoping that he'll take. He has taken that next step of being a dominant player in the game. But we also got to recognize that Jalen Duren bet on himself, and he didn't get that contract that he was looking for. He bet on himself. Right now, he's winning. What I like to see in the second half of the season for Jalen Duren is continue to grow, continue to be consistent, and continue to build on that strong start that he had in the beginning of the season. His rebound numbers are down, but the second half of the season, I want to see Jalen Duren bring his numbers up. I want to see him expand his game, shoot a little bit more jump shots. We know he can make those. Be strong on the defense side of the ball. I want to see Jalen Duren to be recognized one of the best young centers in the game of basketball. In fact, I want to see Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart to be the best centers or best front court guys defensively in the game of basketball. Because they have the talent and they have the will. And we all know these boys are physical, they're tough, they're not scared. They are what Detroit basketball stands for throughout our entire existence. Always to the bad boy Pistons. This is what we always been. Tough, gritty, hard-nosed, physical team. To the point where we will make teams tap out quick because they don't want to get rough with it. They don't want to get physical with us. That's who we are. And we got to keep that going. And it starts with our two centers. So I want to see Jalen Duren continue to grow and be a dominant force in the low blocks. I want him to continue to grow and maybe stretch his game out to shoot some J's, but be a force on defense inside the ball. But I want him to grow, continue to grow. Because Jalen Duren, in my opinion, is going to be an all-star. B. Stu, who has an underrated jump shot. The young man can shoot threes. I'm going to see B. Stu grow as a player. His defense is outstanding. He's one of the best defensive players in game of basketball. He should be first or second team defensive player. So I want to see him also grow in his role that he plays. That goes to the entire team. Every player on this team has a role they have to play. And the difference between good teams and great teams is that players, role players, superstar players have to play great in the role that they need to play. So if this Pistons team wants to take that next elite level, want to get to that elite level, every player has to play elite in their role that they need to play. That's going to separate us from being a title contender or a playoff contender. And just not us. That's always been like that in NBA. Every player has to be elite in their role. That's what separates title contender from playoff contenders. It's not the trades that you make. It's not the signings that you do or make. It's the player that you have. It's just the player has to be elite at their role. So the Pistons right now, all their players, whether they're starters coming off the bench or those specialists, they are playing elite at their role, and they have to continue. I would love to see the Pistons to cut down on the turnovers, and I love them to, when they have a big lead, maintain that big lead instead of making games interesting, because there's a lot of games this first half of the season that was too close, too interesting, that they didn't have to get there. I don't want them to be complacent, so I would love to see them to continue to build on their big leads. Don't get complacent. Don't get lackadaisical, and don't play to the level of the lower competition. Continue to rise up to the challenge, because teams are now seeing that Detroit Pistons are good. They seen that they out here making some noise, and they seen that this team is hungry, and they see that this team is playing with some purpose. And because of that, every team they play against is going to bring their all against the Detroit Pistons. So I just want the Pistons to continue to grow and continue to, when they get these big leads, maintain these big leads. Don't stop playing. Don't make silly mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. Don't play safe, but don't play reckless either. We have a very good team here. We have a very special season. Let's maintain that. And I think that's about it for the Pistons. Because it's really, like I said, man, it's a special season. And I hope they finish off this special season doing something special. Understand that this team will not be judged on if what they do. This team won't be judged on the regular season, and this team will be judged on the postseason. That's what I've really been trying to say. Oops. This team is going to be judged how they finish in the regular season. They're going to be judged how they do in the postseason. But they're not going to be judged by us. We should not be judging this team hard. This team is going to be judged by the GM and the owner. Because if they get further than last year, let's say they win the first round playoff series, and let's say if they win the second round playoff series, it's a very successful season. If they get to the finals, a very successful season. Then that's when you start having that conversation. Be like, hey, yo, let's go. Let's go. Let's not jump the gun. Let's enjoy this season. Let's see how this season play out. Let's continue to cheer for our Pistons. And let's go. And before I sign off, because I will be doing another video on some NFL stuff, but I'm going to give you a little tease of some NFL stuff. And it's about the Detroit Lions. Now, I don't know how many of y'all are going to take this, but it is what it is. Adam Scheffler has reported sources the Detroit Lions are finalizing the deal to hire former Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Pezzing as their next offensive coordinator. Now, it's not Mike McDaniel. I get it, but that's telling me that if they didn't hire Mike McDaniels, and we're going to see if Philadelphia hires Mike McDaniels, but if Philadelphia and the Detroit Lions did not hire Mike McDaniels, that means that Mike McDaniels is going to be a head coach somewhere, whether it's either going to be in Cleveland or the Raiders. He is going to be a head coach somewhere if he didn't sign with those two teams, be the OC. So the Lions did what they were supposed to do. They reached out to him. They interviewed him. They did their due diligence. They did what they were supposed to do. I don't know about this coordinator from the Arizona Cardinals. All I know is that when I look at the Cardinals offense, I really didn't see anything that I like. But again, when you're a coordinator and when you're not working with a full set of weapons, things change. So we'll find out more about this hire and we'll take it from there. So on the next few videos I will be making, I'm going to give you guys a rundown. We will talk about some NFL, the Detroit Lions, and the hire I just said. We're also going to be sprinkling in some Michigan football, about the transfer portal, about the guys who are coming back, and what we should be expecting this coming season. Also, we always talking about the Michigan basketball team, who right now sitting at 16-1. It's one of the best starts in school history. This team has an opportunity to also do something special, so we will be talking about the Michigan Wolverines, basketball, football, and Detroit Lions on the next few videos. So this has been DS Walk. This has been the Double Dribble Podcast. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share my show. And if you guys want to comment on anything I said, please do comment. I love to hear from you. This has been the Double Dribble Podcast. I'm DS. Peace.
From the pen where the grind don't bust. Red, white, blue on the jersey I trust. Whole squad built out the dust. Pistons in my blood and my lungs, that's us. Draft night dreams on a cracked black top. Kid yelling game 7 at the bus stop. Hands numb, winner in my jump shot. Saw the logo, knew my heart had one spot. Blue seats, loud fans that heartland roar. Every loose ball ball like a neighborhood war. We dive, we scrape, we claw for the floor. Detroit on the chest, that's what hustle is for. This, the Motor City Rumble. We'll break, we'll crumble. Listen to my face when I stumble. I get up, stay humble. From the paint to the art, we fight. Every board, every cut, all night. If you want that win, hold tight. Detroit basketball, that's life.